Some of the biggest stimulus checks that we have seen so far are currently being approved and are going to be arriving here very soon. I'm going to get you all the details in this video. This is your stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now I'm going to be discussing this on the federal level and on state levels as states are stepping up and sending out gas stimulus checks. Right now, states are stepping up and passing their own checks. We're going to cover it all. Take a look at some of these headlines. $1,000 stimulus checks from New Mexico residents. So in New Mexico, $1,000 checks, you can get up to $1,500. I'm going to cover all the details. This would be in addition to if there's a federal check as well. Also, Alaska, take a look at this. The House approves a major increase in state spending, including $2,600 payments to Alaskans. The residents of the state could receive $2,600. Now, if you already heard, California car owners could get up to $800. Illinois has proposed statewide stimulus checks as well. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so first off, link in the description below to this article that came out over the weekend that says $1,000 stimulus check for New Mexico residents. Now, the article says over following 5 months, most New Mexican bank accounts will be seeing a deposit of $500 to $1,500. The state's government stimulus check comes after lawmakers in New Mexico authorized 2 different stimulus packages this year, despite record oil income and growing living costs, notably high gas prices. Some of the funds come from a measure voted by parliamentarians in February of 2022 during a normal legislative session. Now on April 5th of 2022, lawmakers passed a second package. After convening in Santa Fe for a one-day extraordinary legislative session, a total of $1,000 will be awarded to heads of the household surviving spouse and married couples submitting joint returns. Individual filers and married couples filing separately returns will each receive $500. Now, stimulus checks funds, here's what you can expect to receive it. It says those funds will be split into 2 different portions once again, as soon as feasible. The first payment is expected, so you can expect this right away. And the act specifies that it must be delivered no later than June 30 of 2022. So congratulations on the state of New Mexico. You could be receiving up to $1,500 and you should receive this before the month of July. Now, next up we have Alaska, and this is a big one. One of the biggest we've seen. Alaska House approves major increase in state spending, including $2,600 payments to Alaskans. Now, the article says that Alaska House of Representatives voted Saturday to turn an oil price surge into money for K-12 schools tax credits and oil drillers and $2,600 payments for Alaska residents. Now the House voted 25 to 14 to send the $7.7 billion state operating budget proposal to the state Senate. Now, so this passed the House, moving on to Senate, which is developing its own plan as well. So both of them likely are going to be combining what they're working on, the 2 plans, which set spending for Alaska services starting July 1st will be combined into a compromise plan, just as we said, and sent to Governor Mike Dunn later this spring. So Alaska and New Mexico, those are the rival times. We can expect to see this come through. And of course, next up we have California and NSA, of course, because as you know, they have the Golden State Stimulus one. That was for anybody making under $30,000 a year. They had a golden stimulus to which were $13,000 to, if they remember correctly, $70,000 a year, $75,000 a year, and now we're hearing they're likely going to be having another golden state stimulus checks due to all the surplus in the state. Now, and also we're getting word of this gas tax rebate where an individual could get up to $800 or $400 per registered vehicle to an individual. California shuddering the nation's highest gas prices, and they could soon be getting a tax break, free rides on public transit, and up to $800 on debit cards to help pay for fuel under a proposal revealed Wednesday, March 23rd by Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom. And it says gas prices have soared in recent weeks. This is the result of the pandemic-induced inflation and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. State governments across the country have been debating on what to do about it, with the most popular choices being to slash full taxes and offering rebates to taxpayers, aka stimulus checks. Now, a lot of states have already slashed those gas taxes, and a lot of them are already, as you see, sending out checks. But now let's talk about a federal level for everybody in the nation. And as I let you know, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is one of the top Democrats that are saying we need gas checks to ensure that people are getting the help that they need at this time. Link in the description below to this article that says Democrats AI action on leasing reform and gas rebates. Now, this came out a while ago. As you know, action have already been taken by the White House, but we're hearing it's not enough for proposals have been brought to President's desk. We're hearing they're under consideration at this time. We're going to see what takes place. Now, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, she endorsed President Biden's plan for releasing more crude from the strategic resources and using the national security law to shore up critical mineral supplies for electric vehicles. She also signaled an openness to White House calls for Congress to pass federal energy leasing reforms. Democrats have also floated gas rebates for consumers, aka gas stimulus checks, but the administration has not yet embraced that idea. So we're seeing, as I mentioned, is currently under consideration. We have not heard a yes or no from the White House on gas stimulus checks. And take a look at this though. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi said gas stimulus checks could be the way to go, and we can ensure that oil companies, gas companies are going to lower their prices if they get rid of that federal gas tax. But questions grow about Biden's position on the gas tax holiday. President Biden is facing growing questions about whether he will throw his support behind a federal gas tax holiday in an attempt to save Americans some money at the pump, while gas prices remain high from inflation and the impacts of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The White House has not articulated a clear position on this issue just yet, saying that it is not taking anything off the table. So stimulus checks getting rid of the federal gas tax, all of it is still under consideration as states like Maryland and Canada. They've already implemented a gas tax holiday for the state, and state legislators in Virginia are looking at a temporary suspension as well. And it's an issue that divides its own party as it's backed by swing state senators facing tough races in November. But it opposed by Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and Senate swing vote. Joe Manchin, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and Joe Manchin both on board. No federal gas tax breaks, we need to just send out checks. 6 Democratic governors have called on Congress to suspend the federal gas tax for the remainder of the year, which could save Americans about 18.4 cents per gallon. Money saved at the pump translates into dollars back in consumer pockets for grocery, childcare, rent, and more. So you guys, that is the latest that's taking place with stimulus checks right now. As I mentioned, some of the state checks coming out or some of the largest that we have seen proposed so far, and some of them are already approved and are going to be arriving. And also, I'll let you know what's going to be happening on the federal level as all of these proposals are coming out. We're hearing they're starting to get some backing, and it's looking like getting rid of the federal gas tax is not getting as much support as they were hoping. So whatever unfolds, I'll be sure to let you guys know here on the channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one.